Thank you for being so excited. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Lamont, of the Higher Learning Network, where higher learning comes from within. So learn to trust the process. Today's show is entitled Self-Publishing. Now, you know you've got a story. We all have a story, and it's sometimes hidden beneath a lot of stuff. So this show, hopefully today you'll learn something that will help you get through the stuff and write that book, because I know you've always wanted to be an author, and as our audience wants to be an author. Isn't that right, audience?
Yes.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for showing up today. Give yourselves a great big round of applause. Because there's no show if there's not you, so thank you for showing up. I also want to thank my staff, Francine Barron, who is my right hand to everything. She's the marketing director for Higher Learning Network, and we could not film this show if it were not for Bill Godomsky. So give Bill a great big round of applause. And now I'd like to introduce to you a very special guest we have today. His name is Coach Lamont Harris. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for showing up today. And someone asked me the question in the audience, why do we have a coach today for a self-publishing seminar? Well, it's because we've all got a story, and he's here to help you get that story out. So I want to read to you a little bit about Coach Harris. As I put on my grown folk glasses, okay? You know, once you get over the age of 21, you might need a little help every now and then. Lamont Harris, raised on the west side of Chicago, he grew up in an area that was plagued by gangs, pimps, hookers, hustlers, and big families. He began a life of bad decision-making, one decision after the other. His life seemed out of control, and simply, life seemed hopeless. Once he discovered that it appeared to be no hope in sight, it finally dawned on him one day that this vicious cycle would continue unless it was attacked at the source, at the root of the problem. The source was his thinking, his current belief system. He began to question his current thinking and belief system, and during that examination process, he began to have some insight into his life and was able to see the errors of his thinking. Not everyone is able to do that. He sought out help by surrounding himself with people of a higher consciousness who had found a way to sustain a method of better decision making. It was a simple enough process. All it took was a desire to do better and to be better, willingness to get involved in the process, as well as dedication to continue on the path of enlightenment, as well as help others like himself along the way. This sharing of his knowledge eventually led him to coaching others. Little did he know that coaching had become a way of life. He now had a new career. How about that? Sometimes one must go through trials and tribulations in order to find themselves. There will always be tests in life, and one must remember there is no testimony without a test. If successful athletes and entertainers have coaches, why not use this same concept in everyday living? We need to learn or relearn or re-educate ourselves on how to live. We are taught a number of things in our upbringing, but we aren't taught how to live. We are left to figure it out, aren't we, pretty much? You know, they give us books for reading and writing, but how to really figure things out, you really got to think. Well, thankfully, he fell into a group of people who had figured it out. It was not an easy process, but it is so simple and it can be done. So when it comes down to this, what do you want? Are you willing to do what it takes to get it? Remember, their motto is, everyone can benefit from coaching. The name of his company is called We Care Coaching, and it says everyone can benefit from coaching. You're looking at someone who surrendered to the process, and look what coaching has done for him, and it can do the very same for you. If you care about your life, call a We Care Coach today. Coach Lamont Harris.
Thank you.
And he's just so humble. He's, you know, we were chatting in the green room talking about. He says, "Well, what are we going to talk about?" I'm like, "Just be you." You know, he's a real genuine kind of guy. I'm just laughing because we just have some hilarious moments, you know, behind the scenes. You'll see those in the outtakes and the commercials when we come back. Okay, but anyway, we're going to get started. Self-publishing. We're going to talk about self-publishing. All of you have a handout Did I say who today's show was sponsored by? I did not, did I? Okay, today's show is sponsored by Wicker Park Chiropractic Health with Dr. Jason Lee Smith. That's a whole other story. I'll tell you about it sometime. Well, matter of fact, I think I'll tell you about it now. I was shopping somewhere, and I just got into the store, and I went to get a shopping cart, and just as I went to push the shopping cart, nothing was in the cart. I went to push the shopping cart, and I couldn't move. Can you imagine being in a store, paralyzed, and you can't move, and people are walking around, you're like, why is she standing there with a shopping cart in there and nothing going on? Well, my back went out. I hurt my back some time ago, and every now and again it flares up. So I called Dr. Jason Smith, called him and told him it was an emergency. He took me the same day. I crawled in his office, and I skipped out. Did you hear what I said? I crawled in his office. I mean, it literally took me like 5 minutes to get from the car to his office. Dr. Jason Lee Smith is about 115 pounds. And the things he did to me, I cannot tell you, but I can tell you it's all good. And I'm sitting here. Because of that, I'm sitting here today. So give Dr. Jason Lee Smith a wonderful round of applause. He is an awesome doctor. So today's show is sponsored by Wicker Park Chiropractic Health. If you ever need this information, just give us a call here. Okay? We're going to get started with self-publishing and how to do what it is that you need to do to get that story out of you. And I'm going to give you an index. Those who attend this free publishing seminar, you get what most people want, and it's for free. Because you not only get to come to the seminar for free, but you also get a free manual. And at the Higher Learning Network, we usually charge, but this year we're doing something different. We're giving away because we've been blessed so abundantly, okay? All right? Yeah, you can clap. Free is a good thing. It's not free. See, we learned one thing in radio. Free is a good thing. See, if it's not free, it's not for me. Okay, so you have a free manual coming. All you have to do is, we have your email addresses. We'll email it to you. You can print it out, okay? So there are 10 chapters in the self-publishing manual. And the first one is how to get started avoiding writer's block. Feel free to take any notes if you want to, but we're going to send it to you, so don't worry if you don't get it all. The second chapter talks about manuscript development. Chapter 3 talks about choosing a title. Chapter 4 talks about the editing process, which is a whole nother show, and we've got an editor here today too. My girlfriend I've been knowing for a few years. We'll talk about that. Chapter 5 talks about copyright and the ISBN number. Chapter 6 talks about choosing a graphic designer and a book cover, because you can have the best book in the world, and if the cover does not speak volumes, then that book probably won't sell. Chapter 7 talks about choosing a publisher or a printer. Chapter 8, what would it cost? Cost money. I got a surprise for you too. Chapter 9, marketing, promotions, creative visualization, and that's where my marketing director, Francine Barron, comes in, so we're going to have her on the show, too. Yeah, Fran, you're going to be on the show, too. You're not always going to be around the camera. She's so multi-talented. She's just all over the place. Audience coordinator, marketing director, camera person. She just does it all, so she's going to be sitting up here, too. And Chapter 10, I show you a sample press kit and what that looks like, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is get started with Chapter 1, talks about how to avoid writer's block. How many of you all write daily? I see, maybe. And how much do you write on a daily basis? A note, a paragraph, a sentence.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. How much do you write, Lamont? How much do you write? Come on out, be honest.
Get a paragraph in.
A paragraph. Well, that's good. That's a start.
Yeah.
That's a start.
There are days where it just flows, and then there's days where
it just, you stopped up.
Yeah, good though.
Okay. Congestion, like a sinus headache, you know,
right.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Get your mind out the gutter. Right. Any of you others, how often do you write?
Couple of pages a day.
Couple of pages a day. See, that's the story of an editor. Yeah. She's not only a writer, she's an editor as well. So a couple of pages, a couple of sentences, whatever works for you, because you can't rush this process. It has to come through you. When I wrote my first book, The Passion Principles, Pathways to Purpose, Power, and Profit. Now I'm going to show you the original cover. You promise me, if you laugh, I'm putting you at the studio right now. Promise me. What'd you say, Bob? Okay, you all remember Grace Jones, right? Yeah. Back in the day with a high top fade. Oh, that was me. Said what? No, he didn't say ooh. You remember that? What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. Yeah, well, not with all the little red. Those are free signs. This was when I was giving them away free. They're not free anymore. Okay. Okay, that's another story. That's another show. But this is the first book. Now, when I reprinted it, because the cost of printing has gone up tremendously, you will notice here. I don't know why there's a DVD in there, but that's another show too. This is the second reprint because I lost the original photograph. I don't know what happened to it, so we had to use makeshift something or another. The graphic designer guy knows, and so he put a box around it so you wouldn't see how bad the picture was. And just added some color to it. So it's the same book, same content, same amount of pages, 370, 60 something pages or something like that. So it's the same book. It's just to save some money, you just cut off an inch or two. And I'm sure you're gonna want to cut off an inch or two. Well, we'll talk about that. But anyway, that's the first. And so you see the second book, which is Inspirational Conversations, 365 Days of Empowerment with Shalometh. This book is 365. Why do I write so many pages? I got so much stuff to say. You got to get it out of you. You got to let it go. So, and I mean, and this is just one book. I got like 5 of these. I haven't even printed them yet. So I'm going to be publishing and printing with you at the same time. This one is it the same size? Yeah, it's the same size, but as you can see in width, I mean, in, what do you call this? Depth, what do you call this? Anyway, the same amount of pages, whatever you call it. Same amount of pages. No, it's not. This is 365. How many pages is this? You're supposed to know this, right? Ooh, you lied, girl. This is 260. 360. This is 267 pages. Well, I haven't read it in a long time. What can I say? Anyway, those are just some differences. So I think one of the first and foremost questions you can ask yourself is, why am I writing this book? So, Lamont, why are you writing this book?
Just share my experiences and my life with others.
Okay. Why do you think that's important?
Because there might be someone out there who could be struggling with some dilemma or event that's, present in their life today that I've already experienced. I went through the hard part. All you have to do is read and you can actually get the solution,
Okay.
So we learn by 2 ways. We learn from our own personal experiences, and then we can learn from other people's experiences as well. And most of the time, it's less painful when you learn from someone else's experience.
It's like trying to teach your children. You're trying to teach them something, but they just don't get it. They gotta go through it on their own in order to get it. For those of you who are parents, I'm sure you understand. They're not gonna get it from us. We didn't get it like that. We had to get it from the School of Hard Knocks. So that's my question. How are you all? Answer the question I just asked you. You know what? I can't think right now. Good thing I can edit because I got skills. I gotta blow my nose. Yes, she did. Said she gotta blow her nose. Bill, let it run. Don't stop it. I gotta blow my nose. I got post-nasal drip. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Well, cause see, the microphone picks it up. That doesn't sound good on there, so I have to blow. Excuse me. Show